With that down, Alou, what do we got up next?
Next up is our Mint Mobile Hotline question of the day. To call in and have your voice heard on the show, you're going to call and leave a message at 951-268-4259. Now, our Mint Mobile question of the day comes to us from Alan, who's asking about the possibility of a Silver Surfer movie.
Hey, John, this is Alan. There's been a rumor going around about the Silver Surfer having its own special a few months before the Fantastic Four. I just want to get your thoughts on this, and do you think this means we could get Galactus or Silver Surfer as a villain of the actual Fantastic Four movie a few months later? Thanks. I'd love to hear your thoughts.
All right, thanks a lot for calling that in, Alan. This is interesting, right? I mean, obviously, Silver Surfer is one of the marquee characters that was under the Fox realm. And when Disney was buying out Fox, everybody was, number one, most excited about X-Men. Then there was Fantastic Four. And then as an extension of that, Galactus, Silver Surfer, and stuff like that. So a lot of people have been talking about Silver Surfer. Now, a couple of reports, not from any of the major trades, but a couple of rumors and reports started surfing that Silver Surfer, that Marvel was planning on putting out a Silver Surfer project, maybe on Disney Plus, maybe a movie, prior to Fantastic Four coming out. And there are some dates available for that. So I made a call of my own to somebody, and they told me they have heard nothing about a Silver Surfer project. Now, let me be kind of, while still remaining ambiguous, let me try to clarify this a bit. The person I called is somebody connected that, had they told me, yes, that Silver Surfer project is happening, that I could have come on here and guaranteed you guys it's absolutely 100% true. However, they said they haven't heard of it, which does not necessarily mean that it's not. Like, if they said it was happening, you could take it to the bank that it was happening. Them saying they've never even heard of this, it casts some doubt on it, but it doesn't automatically mean it's not happening. So I just want to give that little asterisk out there too, okay? So my contact that I talked to said they've never heard of this, but that doesn't necessarily mean it won't happen. So let's talk about it theoretically. Should the MCU be introducing a Silver Surfer prior to even introducing the Fantastic Four? It would all depend on what their story idea was, but to me, it seems like a mistake. Because Silver Surfer, to me, is, you're talking about this immeasurable cosmic power of a character that to me feels like something you build up to a little bit. Along with, of course, if you have Silver Surfer, you're most likely, although you don't have to follow the comics, but you were most likely using him as a herald of Galactus, right? Which, again, to me, seems like if you launch Fantastic Four with Silver Surfer and Galactus, where do you go from there? Like, what do you do after that? What can be the bigger threat in the next movie? And the answer is none, unless they're going to fight Batman. That's about the only other place you can go. So it seems unlikely. Again, a Silver Surfer is definitely going to be in the MCU. There is no doubt about that. Will it be before Fantastic Four? I have my doubts, but it is possible. Rob, you're hearing about this. Number one, do you think the rumor is true that we're going to get a Silver Surfer project prior to Fantastic Four? And then that aside, how wise do you think it would be to bring in a Silver Surfer now as opposed to later? Guys, we want to take a moment and thank a sponsor of today's video, Wondery, and their new podcast, the official Lord of the Rings, The Rings of Power podcast. Guys, it's time to go deeper into the canals of Numenor, the mines of Khazad-dûm, and more with the official The Lord of the Rings, The Rings of Power podcast. Host Felicia Day and several special guests provide an inside look at the groundbreaking series and what it took to bring Middle-earth to life. Each episode of the official podcast features exclusive interviews with the series showrunners J.D. Payne and Patrick McKay, including the very first full breakdown of the incredible season finale. Felicia also goes behind the scenes with the cast and crew to bring you jaw-dropping stories and Easter eggs that you won't want to miss. So watch The Rings of Power on Prime Video and listen to all 8 episodes of the official The Lord of the Rings, The Rings of Power podcast for free on Amazon Music. Download the Amazon Music app now.
Well, first of all, I don't think that we're getting a Silver Surfer project. However, I think what's happened is that because of Werewolf by Night, it's opened the floodgates. We could get an hour long, which I actually think is a pretty good idea. Introduce the character of Norrin Radd, the man, the creature, the being who becomes the Silver Surfer. You could tell this really interesting origin story about a nice family man. or whatever.
Sweet astronomer.
Sweet astronomer,
Who just is in love.
I mean, and he is kind of tragic and forced into a life. That he didn't choose for himself. That could be a really interesting story, like done as an hour-long Werewolf by Night tale-esque, how they did that show, and to tell this story, because a lot of people are not going to know, and don't call it Silver Surfer. Call it something else. Give it some literary title, like The Sacrifice of Norin, or so, I don't know. But then people who know will realize when you get to the end of the story, it becomes maybe a tragic, moving, emotional thing, and that tees up the Silver Surfer. That then you don't have to spend time explaining his origin because you've got this thing that you've already done. I could see the Marvel Universe doing more of that, but I don't think it's going to happen now. I don't think they've got it. We would know. They would set something like this up. They wouldn't keep it a secret. I don't think.
Chris, you hear about this? So same two questions. Number one, do you think the rumors are true that we will get a Silver Surfer prior to Fantastic Four? And then in the theoretical side, would it be a good idea to do it now or not?
I don't think we will get it before, but I think you could do it, right? And you just do something like the Heralds of Galactus, right? The Order, one of those kinds of things. And you do focus on this man who has to save his home world by becoming a Herald of Galactus and by making that sacrifice, saving his own planet while also corrupting himself. Because you don't have to get to the part where he meets the Fantastic Four yet, right? Like Rob was saying, you can do all this backstory. And once he meets Reed and the team, right, that's when he kind of becomes this noble man again and goes, oh, I'm going to betray this intergalactic being. Because we already have so many intergalactic types in here. We've gone very celestial, literally, in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And Silver Surfer also dealt with Mephisto. And we're already potentially introducing that, right? Because Mephisto wanted Norrin because he's pure of heart and he uses his love of his life against him in comic book fashion, right? And is like, oh, I'm going to kill the woman you love if you don't do what I want and give me your soul.
That's not normal behavior.
Yeah, it's totally normal behavior, right? You know when you blackmail someone for their soul?
Yeah.
It's fun. Yeah, 'tis the season.
That's Tuesday.
Yeah. But I think you could do a lot of fun stuff with this. I just don't know if Marvel's going to take that leap right now.
All right, guys, question is for you. You hear about this rumor going around of a Silver Surfer project. I don't think it will. I don't personally buy into it, but it's definitely something that is within the realm of possibility. Would it be something that you'd want to see? Obviously, we'd love to see Silver Surfer, but do you think it's a wise idea to bring it in before Fantastic Four? I don't know. What do you think is going to happen here? Whatever your thoughts are, jump down to the comment section below and leave those thoughts there.